Hey guys, this is Kurt Stubbs with your AEP 855 case study, Module 9. And today we're going to be looking at a case study at Rocket Junior High School involving a first-year assistant principal, Richard Emmon, who's going to be faced with the difficult decision of making an ethical decision versus a policy decision. So let's take a look at a couple of the people involved in the case here. You got two students, one being James, who is a troubled South Side kid that Principal Emmon actually had been investing a lot in him, being that he was from the South Side as well, along with his group. And then you have David, who is a meek honor student who is also in the band. In this situation, James had bullied David into holding on to his brass knuckles that he was going to use to fight another student after school. Unfortunately, Principal Emmon made the decision to involve the school police officer, and what had happened was the fifth period teacher, James's fifth period teacher, saw James and another student, which happened to be David, exchange something that she thought was to be drugs. So Principal Inman made the decision for the police officer to come down and escort David out of the classroom, which eventually ended up being detrimental to David. The police officer was forced to arrest both students for possession of a weapon on school grounds. This could potentially serve both of the students a 45-day expulsion to the DAEP. And then Principal Inman finally is going to be faced with the decision to rip up the expulsion papers that he was going to write for David and not comply with school policy, which ultimately could lead him to being reprimanded by the Director of Secondary Education. And again, this takes place during school hours. The incident takes place inside the school building at Rocket Junior High. Who is involved or concerned by the situation, and what did they have to say? Well, you got Principal Inman, who immediately feels that regret, sadness, and guilt while not filling out David's expulsion, and he faces reprimand. James, who admirably admitted that he bullied David into holding on to his brass knuckles. And then David, who felt very scared during this interview process and refused to say anything before James admitted to what he had done. You got your fifth period teacher, who is just reporting the exchange between the two students. School policy police officer, he's just fulfilling his duties to arrest the two students. You got James' mother, who was not really moved one way or another by the situation. She just wants her son to learn a lesson. David's mother hung up on the principal. She came in about 15 minutes later. She was very angry, emotional, that's very understandable. And she really wasn't able to understand the logic behind this situation and the outcome of it. And neither was Principal Inman, to be honest with you. And then the Director of Secondary Education also adhering to school policy. Has anyone been harmed by this? And if so, in what way? Well, David's obviously been harmed by this decision to bring the school police officer in before knowing what actually took place, and then obviously the outdated school policy. David was arrested and faced the possibility of a 45-day expulsion to the DAEP. Obviously, James is as well, but he admitted to his wrongdoing in the situation. David kind of is your innocent bystander who was bullied into hanging on to the brass knuckles. And then Principal Inman is facing possible reprimand if he refuses to fill out the expulsion form by the Director of Secondary Education. Does this action or the situation contravene an existing law? Well, according to the school police officer, he has the obligation to arrest both students since he was brought into the situation, take them to jail, charging them with felony possession of a prohibited weapon on school property. So he's basically just doing his job. The school board policy also states that both students should be expelled for no less than 45 days into the district's disciplinary alternative education program. And lies the problem. There is no policy in place, or there appears to be no policy in place mentioned in the case study protecting students such as David from bullying. Was there a breach of contract? Were the actions discriminatory or constitute harassment? Well, Principal Inman is breaching his contract, I'm assuming, by not following board policy and filling out the expulsion papers. The treatment of David could possibly fall under discrimination, as the student was being bullied into a decision by another student and then facing severe consequences. I summed this up in one sentence by saying Principal Inman is faced with the decision of doing what is ethical versus adhering to school policy. People, place, and programs. Some of the known facts with the people: we know the principal is a first-year assistant. We know the students were contrasting a rough upbringing versus a meek honor student. You had two parents, one concerned, one not. School police officer, director of secondary education, and in a lesser extent, the fifth period teacher. Some unknown facts were the norms or race of the students involved and the sources of political. Place, Rocket Junior High. I'm assuming there's some diversity. At least, you got your students from the South Side, and then I'm assuming that some of the other students were coming from a more well-to-do background. Unknown facts: is this rural or suburban? The demographics, population, programs known with information given. We can assume, being the student is 15 and that it's in a junior high building, that it's likely this is an 8th grade situation. It's assumed this is a public school, but doesn't specifically say. Have all the relevant stakeholders been consulted? If we dive a little deeper into this case, we want to consider an attorney for both Principal Inman and David. In addition, the school board needs consulted in regards to their policy and the potential to have it revised. Is there anything more to learn about this situation? Well, is there school policy in place to protect students like David from being put into situations like the one mentioned? That is something we really don't know. And what does the board policy state on ethical decision making, especially when it comes to school leaders? Do I know enough to make a decision? Ethically, I believe I know enough, but I'd still like to know more about board policy protecting students from bullying, and also decision making for school leaders. Choices. Well, I could take no action, which means no decision would be made. I could not admit to my ethical failure as an assistant principal and sign the expulsion papers. I could admit my ethical failure in this case, refuse to sign the papers, and then deal with the consequences from the director of secondary education. I could use board policy if one is in place to validate my action to not sign the paper, citing protection for a student such as David. I'd recommend David's mother get an attorney to represent her son in this case and to move forward by taking this to court, or I may refuse to sign the paper, hire an attorney through our education association, and fight being reprimanded and making an education decision despite school policy. Some pros and cons. The first decision, that wouldn't benefit much of anybody. Second, this would benefit me professionally, but it could be detrimental to David and his family. In addition, my mental well-being could be at stake by making this choice. 3 would be ethical thing for me to do if I'm striving to do the right thing and to model this for those involved. Also would be the best decision for all students. However, this decision may come with consequences for me and my job. This choice, number 4, could benefit nearly all parties involved if I were able to find a policy that protects students from being bullied into decision making. Number 5, this is a possible option, but could financially be costly, and there's no guarantee that they will win the case. And the same goes for me in number 6. How can your decision be implemented with greatest care and attention to the concerns of all stakeholders? As a school leader, I need to make a decision that's best for all stakeholders involved, which is, one of the main things of being an ethical leader with moral integrity. I must evaluate, communicate, and advocate for ethical and legal decisions, as the standard says. The right choice is not always going to be the most popular choice, especially when it comes to policy. In this case, I got an opportunity to evaluate all my possible choices and outcomes, and I really need to think about how this is going to impact others, but ultimately as a leader, I want to make the best ethical decision, which means I need to make a decision that may not be the best for me professionally, but hopefully provides a lasting impact for those in a positive way. Have all stakeholders been consulted? Yes. Have I identified creative options? Yes. Conclusion. As a citizen principle, I'm not going to sign the papers for the expulsion regardless of the outcome for myself. One of the biggest parts of me being a leader is making a decision in the face of adversity, which I plan to do in this case. Not every decision is black and white. There's some gray in this policy for sure. There needs to be a revised policy to protect students in this type of situation, such as David. So I'm going to admit my wrongdoing to all those affected, as I shouldn't have involved the school police officer before I knew what happened. Next, I will inform the director of secondary education. I don't plan on signing the papers and will deal with the consequences. I also want to provide a face-to-face apology to David's mother and tell her how sorry I am that I failed her son, and our policies have done so as well. Finally, I would like to meet with the board to discuss a revision of this outdated policy, and ultimately my decision came down to wanting to model ethical behavior for all those around me as a leader to cultivate that in our building. What may happen? Well, I may be reprimanded for my decision to not sign the paper, but I think the next few bullet points really are what I'm aiming for, and that is I might gain the utmost respect from my peers, students, and community for making an ethical decision. In speaking to the board, at least my voice will be heard, and perhaps this policy may be changed or completely renewed for students such as David. Worst case scenario, the school allows me to resign and not be fired, in which I will be able to seek another opportunity in a district that aligns more with my moral and ethical values. So that is my presentation for this case study. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope everybody has a great weekend.